What is up, people? It's your boy here, Triple S Storm, and so many stuff has been announced for Pokemon Go and have been talked about over the week. And I'm gonna try to see if I can go over all of them. I won't go in the direct quotes, seeing as how there are tons of other videos on YouTube that has gone into the direct quotes, but I'll more than instead of going to the direct quotes, I'll just basically be going over what each thing meant and basically what we're going to be looking forward to as to how things are relevant to us and how we should interpret these. Now, to start this, I'd like to apologize for not doing an actual video because I still am using my Motorola Razr XT910, which is a really old phone, and that phone is giving me some really bad problems. So I won't be having any video play, maybe not until for a while. This might completely ruin Content Wave on Sunday. I hope it doesn't, right? But anyways, guys, now let's start by talking about gyms. Now, John Hankey basically said that they're planning to redo the way the gyms are because they're not really comfortable with the way that gym battling is at the current moment, which honestly is something that I see happening. Gym battling has gotten a bit boring. It's gotten stale. A lot of people have been complaining. The tap and swipe thing doesn't really work, and tap swipe holding the screen, that's getting old. So a lot of people would like to see changes. I'm wondering exactly how they would do these changes. I'm hoping that what they might do is they might just give you a carousel on one side where you can basically keep, instead of 2 moves but 4 moves, and you can basically select which moves you want for your quick attack moves and which moves you want for your charge moves, and that would basically be how it is. So you'd be able to keep two quick attack moves and two charge moves, which would kind of add a bit more strategy to the game. So instead of getting a Pokemon with only two moves, or to be able to get 3 different sets of moves or 4 different sets of moves, you'll be able to actually cycle through the types of move that you get. This might be a bit taxing on the game, but I'm really hoping that they kind of do something similar to this. Now, another thing is they wanted to implement a way which you would be more cooperative to take down gyms. Now, what I'm hoping that they do is that they do double battles. And basically what I'd like for them to do is, if you're, say, so let's for example, both of you are on Team Instinct, because I'm an Instinct, and we're taking down a Mystic Gym, right? So we'd both connect to the gym at the same time, we'd both spawn, and instead of battling a single Pokemon with our 2 Pokemon, we would be able to battle 2 Pokemon with our 2 Pokemon. So we'd be double battling at the same time. So we'd be knocking them out 2 by 2. So I could be knocking out 3 Pokemon, he could be knocking out 3 Pokemon, I could be knocking out 5, he'd be knocking out 5, and then at the end of it, we'd knock out all 5 Pokemon, and we'd be running through that gym a lot faster. Now that would make gyms be torn down a lot faster, meaning that the people who were actually holding the gym would come back out to actually rebattle the gym and to build themselves up. Now this is just my concept and my philosophy. Might not go so, might not be so. This might not even come into consideration, but that's just how I think I should do that. Another thing that they said was that they really wanted to address the elephant in the room, which is basically spoofing, and they were saying that they believe that it is their responsibility to prevent people from cheating and spoofing, and that they basically are robbing themselves of the core factor of the game, which is true. And as I said in my previous video, we did have a talk about this, about spoofing, and how so many people have left the game because they can't be able to spoof. Some of them still do, and a lot of people haven't been able to leave the game, play the game, because their phones are rooted and they won't unroot their phone to play Pokemon Go. Now, I have spoken to a few other developers with Unity on Discord, Discard. I think it's Discard, and I was basically asking them if there is any codes that they can actually use and execute, and these codes will actually be able to find similar files within a game and actually to identify them. And I was given a few examples which I've been putting up on the screen for you guys so you guys can see. And what these would basically do is search for files within a game. Now, a few of them they're just examples, so they might say, like say searching in a hard drive, but it'd be the same thing if they're searching within the SD card or within the phone's internal storage. So that's something that they can use to detect if there is cheating software within the phone itself. Another thing is that they can actually have a way for them to relay from the server to the actual app, and then from the app back to the server, and they can be confirmed whether or not this is actually the original Pokemon Go app. So that's something that they can do. But as I was watching Mystic Seven's video and heard him saying that it's also our responsibility as YouTube content creators to ensure that the game has been played the way it should be played, and to stop the clickbaiting, and also to stop the tutorials on how to spoof and cheat in Pokemon Go. That is true. That is 100% true. It is our fault. And like I've said before, I did a video back when I was talking about the NES Classic and how to hack it, which I didn't actually show how to hack it, but somebody did do a video on how to hack it, which I had linked in the description of that video just in case if those persons wanted to check it out. But I was basically talking in that video telling people that it has been done, and if they want to go and do it, then they can go ahead and do it. And I could have easily well just do an entire tutorial, but honestly sometimes I think stuff are just meant to be left alone sometimes. So that was one thing. And another thing is legendaries are definitely coming to Pokemon Go sometime this year. John Hankey actually talked about that, about how they are planning to do legendary, and they're actually hiring an event coordinator as to how they're going to do basically doing the legendary events and any other major event that they're going to be doing. So this person would basically have fresh ideas as to how they would do it. And what I think that they should do is, this might sound a bit strange, but on the exact day when they're actually going to be doing the legendary, what I think they should do is they should put these legendaries in gyms, right? They should make the gyms actually be changed, or even if they don't change a gym, they should actually get another place or another Pokestop. Maybe if they start adding a new Pokestop, they can actually get one of these new Pokestops and change the appearance of this Pokestop to let this Pokestop actually display like a mini gym and be displaying the legendary on top of it. And with the legendary being displayed on top of it, they'd actually have something kind of like a countdown timer as to how long it is that you would take for you to actually catch this legendary, which means that say the event goes on for 3 weeks, you'd actually have a countdown timer for 3 weeks. Now you can go there and you can see this legendary, and you'd basically battle this legendary. After battling this legendary and defeating this legendary, then the legendary would actually come down to a stage where the legendary would be at a weaker level, and then you'd battle this legendary again, because battling it once won't be fun. So I don't know if you guys have ever played any of the Mega Man Battle Network series, where the final bosses are always the nicest ones, because after beating them, you kind of like chip away at pieces of their armor, and then after chipping away at pieces of their armor, then you actually get to battle the actual boss. I'd like for them to do it that way. So let's say you're fighting Mewtwo, right? And you defeat Mewtwo. So defeated Mewtwo and you beat him first time, and he removes the helmet. You know, that little helmet that he had. Then you actually find the core Mewtwo. Bam, beat Mewtwo again. Mewtwo is weakened, and basically you would have like tons of people around while you're doing this. So Mewtwo weakened, and then after fighting him, you'd actually go back in there, and instead of fighting him this time, you'd actually be able to capture him. Now, when you're in your capture menu, you'd actually be using your berries, your ultra balls, all that stuff, trying to capture Mewtwo. Mewtwo would probably be at a mystery CP, and the reason why I said mystery CP is we don't want you to know what Mewtwo CP is, because let's say for example you're a level 5 player or a level 7 player. The level 7 player would never be able to catch a 3000 plus Mewtwo. That would be impossible. So instead it would be at a mystery CP, where this player would actually not be able to know what the CP is, so it would be narrowed down to his level. So that player can actually fight that Mewtwo, defeat it twice, then capture this Mewtwo, and he'll be well on his way with maybe his 500 1200 CP Mewtwo, whereas a player which is at level 30 or level 40 will actually be able to, after beating this twice and capturing this player, would be able to go on his way with his 300 or 400 plus CP Mewtwo, which would be awesome if they actually make the CP go that high, whichever way they make the CP goes. And another thing is, a lot of people might be thinking, so what happens if this Mewtwo ran? Because let's just say maybe they make the Mewtwo be able to run, so the Mewtwo actually wastes like 25 of your Ultra Balls, 15 of your Great Balls, and 37 of your Pokeballs, all of your berries, and then this Mewtwo runs. Now, you actually have the option to really go back into that Pokestop or that legendary gym. That's what I'm going to call it, that legendary gym, and then you can rebattle him again for a second time, and after rebattling him again, then you can actually try to catch him again. Because honestly, to some people it might be annoying to have to rebattle this Pokemon twice again. However, if you were to just battle this Pokemon and break it down, then there would be no fun in that. So I think if they're not gonna do it that way, what I think they should do is put it at a ridiculously high CP, where it's almost impossible for a single Pokemon Go player to defeat. And it would take multiple Pokemon Go players to defeat that player, which means that you have to be cooperative with your entire Pokemon Go team. So if you're on Instinct, Mystic, whichever team you're on, you have to get like at least 10 players so you can go tackle Mewtwo. And then with all of your combined effort tackling Mewtwo, you guys would be able to take down Mewtwo. When you do take down Mewtwo and you actually start capturing him, because I like the way it looked at the start. Now when you guys start capturing him, everybody will actually get a copy of that Mewtwo in their party, and bam! That's how you do it in Niantic. That would be really, really cool. Now the other thing that they actually talked about was trading. And as for trading now, this is how I think that they probably should do trading. They have one of three ways which they could probably do trading, and I'm just talking these things off the top of my head based on the ideas that I have. So if they sound a bit sketchy, guys, that's probably the reason why. Now this is one of the three things that I think that they should do. One, they can make it Wi-Fi based, where you'd basically be able to connect to another player through Wi-Fi. So if your Wi-Fi is on, whether you're connected to a Wi-Fi or not, and you're within range of another Pokemon Go player who has his Wi-Fi, you would actually be detected basically like a spawn point. So let's say you're walking, and I don't know if you guys saw my thumbnails the other time for a video but way back, but it actually had like two players in the same area, and it was giving you like a Go Plus notification telling you guys that, hey, there's another player close by. So it would actually tell you there's a player close by to you, and you can actually tap on that. You can actually tap that player, and that player would be able to it will show you where that player is, just like it would do with a wild Pokemon. But that would only happen if it was a Pokestop. So let's say certain players were at a Pokestop, it would tell you where the players are and which Pokestops they are, and you can actually tap on the Pokestop and go to that place, that area, and then you can find those players and you can trade with them. Aside from that, you could probably make it where whenever you're in Wi-Fi zone with the other player, you see that basically like how Pokemon would spawn, and you'd see the player avatar pop up, and then you'd be able to see that person's avatar, click on that person, and then you could be able to send that person a message saying to that person, would you like to trade? Okay, yes, I would like to trade. When and where? And you tell the person when and where, or that person would actually find you. Now, this might come at an advantage and disadvantage, and this is one of the reasons why trading hasn't come out, because we all remember back in the days when people were using the lure module to actually get people to rob them. So people don't want, Niantic definitely doesn't want trading to be a way for people to rob people. So they would probably find some way to actually make it safe. So basically that's the second idea which I had. Now the third idea, and this is probably the idea which is a little bit out there, but it's probably the one which would work best for Niantic, and this is using Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth have a very short range compared to Wi-Fi, so you'd have to be really close to the person, as in you would basically have to be in the same place at the same time. Now, I remember trading with people from different parishes in my country, and Jamaica is a relevantly small country, but it has a lot of parishes, 14 parishes to be exact, and people would come from different parishes. We'd all meet up in my hometown and we'd all play Pokemon on the Nintendo 3DS. We'd all trade on the Nintendo DS as well and on the Nintendo Game Boy. And we'd all just trade Pokemon and stuff. And it was a really fun experience. We didn't even know each other, but we contacted each other either through Facebook or online or whichever way we could. And you could do that, contact a person, meet up, hit transfer. You guys would connect through Bluetooth, and then you guys would basically, bam, transfer Pokemon through Bluetooth, and then you guys are done and you're gone. So that could be another way that Niantic could do that. So yeah, you guys looking, guy at Niantic, hope if you guys are watching, or if anybody that knows anybody who knows anybody that knows somebody in Niantic are watching or listening this video rather, they can actually check that out, and they can actually give them that idea and let them try to see if they can work on that and see what they can do with it and run with it. So that's it for my ideas on how they would rework the gym, how they would do the legendary events, and also how they would do training. PvP. As for PvP, I'll probably cover PvP in a completely separate video, but I'll probably just give you guys a basic rundown as to what I think they should do with PvP, even though they haven't really talked much about PvP right now. But I think that this is what they should do with PvP. I think they should do PvP where they should make it local first, where it is basically using one of the three methods which I previously explained for trading, and then they can basically use that and implement that for PvP. So you basically have to be encountered at the same time to do that. Now what I think that they can do is they can let it be at a gym where more than one persons are at a gym. You can encounter these persons at gyms and you can battle them. Aside from that, they could make it where it is whenever you encounter somebody on the streets, like the way the Nintendo 3DS uses Street Pass, you could use that with the Go Plus. Whenever you encounter a player out in the open, I was just gonna say wild, out in the open, then your Go Plus would probably vibrate, or on your Pokemon Go app, you'd be walking, somebody's close by, and then the app would vibrate, and then the person's avatar would be there. And as I said, you can tap on that person, and then you'd be given prompt the option to either chat, trade, or battle. So that's something that I think that they probably should do, and that's how I think they could probably handle that. As to the basics, as I said, I'll do a completely separate video on that, on trade and the battle system, in another video, but that was just a quick rundown. But this video has been well over long, and I'm probably just gonna cut it right here so that you guys can actually go out there, catch some more Pokemon, and I'll pretty much try to see if I can work something out so you guys can pretty much get some video and footage eventually. Also, if you guys know anybody, any companies sponsoring, cell phones or something, you guys kind of hit me up with the link. Not that I'm really desperate for it, but I really need a phone right now, and it's kind of a pain to get a new one right now. So any of you guys know a link, please hit me up, let me know what's going on, please DM me, and yeah, you guys know what to do. But anyway, people, if you like this video, please hit that like button, please hit that share button, please hit that subscribe button, follow me on all my social media stuff. Also turn on post notifications so you guys can be notified every single time I hit a video. Shout out to the notification squad and the people who always hit up in the comments, and let me guys know what you guys think about my ideas. You think my ideas completely suck, or you think they make sense, or you think there's stuff that I probably should change, and whatever it is that you guys think, just leave that down in the comments. This is Triple S Storm. This has been a video. Go play some Pokemon, and I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.